Bro, minimally, he needs to purge at least 70% of the players.
Yep.
Because if this 70% remain, bro, he will
never
not
go
last.
anywhere.
I tell you, he will, by 10 games, he'll be sacked.
Yep. Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of the Football Kaki. I am your host Helder and I'm joined by my fellow Kaki bro, Paul. Paul, how you doing, bro?
Just want to say time flies, man. I think it just felt like the year just started, don't you think?
Yeah,
To me, it felt like that. Then you see, you blink your red eye, right, bro? It's already the end of May. It's gonna be like in a few days' time. It's gonna be June.
I agree. Like I mean, like suddenly out of nowhere, right, the season's ended already. Our misery has been finished.
Yeah. So apart from that, right? So we are approaching the midway of the year.
Yeah.
Have you do you expect yourself to be where you are as compared to how you plan to start the year?
Honestly, no.
Like you're just happy-go-lucky kind.
I mean, like I can't really like disclose why I feel it's a bit different, but it is work related, so I can't disclose much, right? But it's just let's just say there's new challenges up ahead.
Yeah.
So it's something that I did not foresee. So so compared to where I was like at the beginning of the year compared to where I am now, right? It's something that I did not foresee coming. But hopefully it all goes well and end of the year maybe I have something different. Both personal and in work life. But let's just see where it goes from there. Then you I heard you went to a very interesting event over the weekend.
Yeah, I was at the Resorts World Sentosa on Saturday night. Clash of the Legends. You call it Clash of
it's
the
damn
Giants.
weird, Like I always found Clash of Legends was always like, you know, those type of like
11
Singapore National Stadium 11 aside one, right? Suddenly I'm like, what? Are they too old to play 11 aside? They decided to play 7 aside.
Bro, we were there in 2016, man. Remember?
Yeah.
Man Utd Liverpool. So it was the same. Some of them are the same players, like Saha, Dwight York,
Yeah.
Wes Brown, right?
Yeah, but it's like 9 years. It's like 9 years ago.
Yeah, coming, let's say 9 to 10 years, right? Yeah. So I think, as we forget, they are also getting older, right? Yeah. So this they decided to play like a 7 on the side kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I think quite interesting to see. Yeah, and it was nice to see.
Was it like, were they still as competitive?
Bro, they are like how we play Cage last time, but I think times 10 the intensity.
So they're still competitive.
Bro, when you play Cage with Joanna, Risa, Yapstam, all this, right, bro?
Yeah.
I think you can expect the ball to be flying around most of the time.
Did they fly?
Bro, Risa tried to rimbat so many times. And he did score like, I think 2 rimbat goals.
But question, right? So is it like, because the photo that you sent to me, right? Yeah. The photo you sent to me, right? Is there like a barricade or like a cage around it?
It's like those like Fico, that kind, they put a safety net. Yeah, it's a safety net rather than a cage. Yeah.
Because you cannot see the net. Like from a normal photograph.
Correct. Yeah, it's quite insane, bro. They're so big somewhere, right? So like the pitch felt so tight. You know, there's like not enough space for them to move around. But it's more just like futsal, game of futsal, you know, pass the ball around.
But it's more like it's a trip down nostalgia lane. Because it's like you play like Robbie Fowler, like Jordan Reese, Dwight York, like Luis Garcia. All like these guys, right? It's like the people that you grew up like watching. To me, what I call like prime EPL. Then suddenly out of nowhere, right? It's like they're all aging already.
Like Yapstam and all this. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So it's a bit different lah. But I mean, I totally you know, I had no idea it was like this weekend. I thought it was later down the line.
Yeah. Or like pre-season that kind.
Yeah,
of
correct.
Timing, right? Yeah. But so I think it was like you said, nostalgia, very good once in a while to go for events like this.
Yeah.
It's to me it's like a different scene to what we watch on TV lah.
Yeah.
Especially given the current Man United situation.
Yeah.
You know, I actually enjoyed myself. So yeah, I can't say the same for when we watch the main team lah.
Yeah, but before you go on, right, bro, because it's futsal, right? You can literally see that they still got their close dribbling skills on, right? Like
it's like muscle memory, bro. Yeah, it's just muscle memory.
It's like something that you cannot comprehend on, right? Like you see how good they actually are.
Like you know how you don't even like realize how good Saha is like when it comes to close quarter dribbling. Yeah. So it's exactly like that in person lah.
Okay. So it's like basically the TV doesn't do it justice until you see it in person.
Different because TV you see a younger version of him, you see a smaller version of him. But then when you see Saha in like up close and personal, like a bit older, a bit bigger, so you know.
Yeah.
So But you can't. It's the same person that I watched on TV last time.
Yeah, that's true. But I think like speaking of Man United now, right? We have to talk about today's episode. So today's episode is essentially right. What's next for Man United? Usually we always have our segment of what's going on, but today we decided that we will not have a what's going on because Man United as a whole is a what's going on.
Yep.
So what we'll do today is we're going to talk about essentially what's next for Man United, and to basically just sum it up, right? Is we're going to talk about whose fault is it. What is the backlash surrounding the club right now at this moment in time? Like, especially after
fault for Europa, the loss of Europa final.
Fault for who's to blame for the current state of Man United. I think let's just call it there. Like, who's to blame for the current state of Man United? The backlash basically from the fallout of the Europa League and finishing close to the bottom of the table, right? The financial repercussions of not making it into the Champions League via the Europa League. So we'll talk about that. Who deserves to play at United? Because currently, as it stands, right, from what we know, a lot of the players are basically being excommunicated or they're transfer listed. Almost
the whole
the
team,
entire squad.
The whole team,
pretty much the entire squad.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah. So, and the last one is from Ruben Amorim. What is our expectation and when and how much time are we giving him? So, bro, I think let's begin. With the currency of Man United, right? Let's just sum it up in this sense. We finished 15th. With 42 points, right? We have lost so many games to a point where like you cannot even like comprehend Man United losing this many games like even 5 years ago. So the amount of games that we have lost this season is 18.
League games,
League games, we have lost 18 league games. The only teams that have lost more than us, right, is the people below us, which is
Spurs,
Wolves at 20, Spurs at 22, Leicester at 25, Ipswich at 24, and Southampton at 30. So, I mean,
so at some point, I don't really know how we were not in like a relegation battle.
Yeah, no, it's I think like let's just call it as it is lah. We were in a relegation battle literally because we were not in a relegation battle literally because right. The bottom 3 teams were worse than us. That's just clear cut exactly what it is. I think right. Let's just talk about this as a totality from an overview lah. Whose fault is it that Man United ended up in this state? Or like
I had to choose one party, is it?
You can name one party. You can name multiple parties. It's entirely.
No, if I name all the parties, I would say it's the owners and the players. You can't
not
really
the past managers.
Amorim now, but I would definitely blame Erik ten Hag still.
Yep.
So at the start of the season, I will blame Ten Hag.
Yes.
Certain players. I think most of the players. And SJR.
Okay, SJR,
it's true.
I don't know.
You have to
I will blame
him. You have to blame him because
something.
they made the choice to renew Erik ten Hag.
Yes, that one I will blame
him. That is 100%. A very clear fault already. Management team also. Yep, correct.
Yep.
Yeah, so from the start to the start of the season to now, players is a consistent at fault, not doing their job properly, not professional, choose to play when they want.
Yes.
People who enable this should be held accountable as well. Which they already did. I feel like Ten Hag got sacked. So
management. Okay, that's one thing, right? Like to me, I view it this way. It's a whole host of factors that literally happened in the past 13 years since Sir Alex Ferguson retired that led to this point. One was I predominantly blame management because as much as we want to blame the Glazers for bad ownership, right? The people in charge technically also didn't really do their job. So like let's say for example, right, when Sir Alex was around, the Glazers were fine because Sir Alex was in charge. Yeah, everything was okay. But the moment you put Ed Woodward, a non-football guy in charge of football-related matters, right? I think that's when it just spiraled out of control. And ever since then, right, it's been a theoretical downfall, right? Like managers at the time, at the peak of their career. So you got Louis van Gaal, you've got Jose Mourinho, right? The fact that they cannot do anything with Manchester United, right, already tells you a lot of basically how little backing they had from Ed Woodward to a point. Then when they did say that they back players, right? The scouting and the transfer policy was horrible.
Yeah, so I think let's do some this small portion. I think is we all know it's from like Ed Woodward's time, but I would say also the Glazers, not like the Glazers didn't give us money. It was just wrong people that were placed to spend that kind of money.
Yes.
Yeah. And it's like just a manager after manager. I want this player. Change the manager. I don't like this. Then the new manager comes in. I don't want what the previous manager bought. So it's an endless cycle lah. So like now you see this sack Ten Hag, right? Now Amorim don't like certain players that Ten Hag bought.
Yes.
You know, yeah. So it's exactly the same situation. But I feel that now we are heading into a different direction. You know.
Yep.
Like we said, like Amorim, he's gonna. He in his first season at Sporting, he like released 21 players of 24, right? He like
21 out of 21 out of 26 about that.
Yeah, that is a big overhaul. It means he only kept 5 players.
He kept 5 only, or at least like out of those like 26 players, right? I think only a handful, about 21 of them, or somewhere lesser, right? A lot of them didn't make more than 5 appearances that year.
Yeah,
the following season. So so like even in this type of situation, right? The way that Amorim handles things is more or less how people wanted a manager to handle it. But the problem that I think it was, I can't remember who brought it up or somebody brought it up, right? Like, you don't buy players to fit the manager. The method moving forward is you buy players that will fit the club mold moving forward.
I think that's Wesley Schneider. He said that. He said you buy players that fit the Man Utd DNA, which is 4-4-2. You know, that kind of thing.
Yeah, correct.
Yeah, but you can't expect every manager to play 4-4-2. So and I can, in a way, you also say like, oh yeah, every manager wants to play their style. Then if you force them to play 4-4-2, then they say this is not my style.
Yeah,
you know. So that's the story of the past like 4-5 managers that we had lah. Everyone just wants to do their own thing. Yeah, so I think we're just heading into a very dark time once again.
Yep.
Just when you thought we will be coming off the end,
end of the tunnel, right? It just got worse. So
it just got worse.
I think like to sum this portion up, right? Like it's a culmination of things that led up to this point. So it's a lot of people are to blame for the situation that we're currently in.
Top to bottom, like, for sure.
Yeah, top to bottom. We'll talk about the cost cutting measures later, right? But you extend Ten Hag's contract only to fire him a few games into the season.
You have to pay an additional 16 million, right?
You bring in Dan Ashworth, right? And then you you cut him again when you could have just basically appointed Jason Wilcox into that role and hire Christopher Vivell full time, which also basically made another stupid thing. I don't know lah. Like I can understand where the club is going from, right? But I don't really see. It just looks like it's just shambles lah. So there's a lot of people to blame basically from the current situation where it's affecting football on the field as well as off of it lah. But I think let's move to present, right? Like the current backlash that is getting hit at Jim Ratcliffe and the players, right? I'm just gonna say this, and I see whether you agree, right? It is 100% deserved,
bro. The only thing I have to say, why was the backlash not like
earlier?
Did not come earlier. Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Yeah. Why must he reach this point? You know, everyone was hoping that the Europa League was the saving grace. You know,
it is like a Man United situation of like false hope. And like the backlash is deserved because the thing is that we've been saying it for many times and many years, right? Like the players just are not good enough, or they just don't deserve to be a Man United player on the standard that we have expected Man United to be like in the past. Okay, you can say that, oh, Man United, we're all nostalgia merchants, or we're like always live in
history
the past.
FC,
or like history FC. But the thing is, that's the standard.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have a standard to live up to, right, then you also are floundering no matter what.
You know, just do whatever you want, lah, right?
You just do whatever you want. So it's like if players are horrible and we can't buy into it, right? Finally, I think it's come to a point where the players which so many of us like protected or tried to like get behind over the past few years, right? This year was the season where we all went like, nah. I think almost everybody, or at least like majority of the fan base, just went like, you guys are just not good enough anymore already.
No, bro, it's like yeah, exactly like how you say that, the backlash, right? And like especially this season, it's like I find myself like don't even bother watching some games.
Yeah,
you know,
same, I agree.
Last time we will still watch, you know, like almost every game, see what kind of progress they are making, but like nowhere. This is like a few games I in are like I'm not gonna take part in this, you know.
Yeah,
which is bad lah, because as a fan you shouldn't be like that lah. You know, you shouldn't reach this kind of stage.
Yes.
Yeah. So, bro, backlash fully deserved, and I think we are not done yet lah. I think the backlash, there will be more coming lah, for sure.
Yeah, like you see the Europa League reaction to the Europa League final, right? Like everybody just basically said that it was embarrassing.
Yeah, and can I just add one more thing? I think it's in a way also quite a good thing that we didn't win.
Yeah, I agree.
Because if we won, right, it will be exactly like last season, where there will be a short-term euphoria, that, actually, these players are not bad,
Yep.
They can win one. They can win the Europa League.
Yep.
And then we'll be in the Champions League having to play more games next season, right? Where I think by the second game, we'll lose everything again. It's a long-awaited wake-up call, I feel.
Yep.
Yeah. I feel that we should have already lost last year's FA Cup and then, we delayed this wake-up call for 1 year, exactly.
Yep. And it's a scenario whereby like everybody is like trying to save their
now they know
already.
Where the problem
Now
is.
they know where they stand already.
Yeah.
And essentially, right, like I think everybody is seeing that the players got nowhere to hide anymore already. Because you had a one chance to win a trophy, right, and you didn't win.
No, it's like the season was so crap that this is your one ticket out of like the grave. At least minimally, just to survive,
You lost the game, right, with the one shot that you conceded.
Yep.
Spurs only had one shot in the final. One shot. One shot.
One scrappy shot, right?
One scrappy shot, which was, I mean, like everybody on YouTube, all the YouTubers were all saying it, right? It was an embarrassing performance.
Yep.
Like,
and there's a reason why you see none of the Man U players actually cried.
Yeah.
Because if you gave your 100%, right, and you lost, you will cry, bro. So it just proves to you, they did not even give their 100%, bro.
They didn't even care.
They didn't even care, yeah. They didn't even care enough to this win or loss doesn't even mean anything to me.
Correct.
Yeah. Bro, it's just a bunch of weak merchants, really.
No,
really.
it's like, you imagine, right, like, I will never ever forget, right, the 2009 Champions League final. I saw Ronaldo crying before he left. Like, that's the last memory of Ronaldo in a Man Utd jersey, right? And it was the fact that he lost a Champions League final.
Despite having won one the year before, right?
Despite having won 1 year before. Because they all gave a crap. But this club, right?
Yeah, 100%.
This club doesn't even like bother. Like, it feels like I'm afraid to go into the Champions League because I know we'll get slaughtered.
Yep. It's like the players cannot play under pressure. They just prove to you that they cannot play under pressure.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like, yesterday's game, the last game of the season, nothing on the line, right?
Yeah.
No problem. Can win 2-0, yeah.
It's nonsense lah. Like I can't do it. So like the backlash that we've given to them, right, is basically they're saying that you're not good enough, right? Is one thing. And like even Gary Neville said it. Like Luke Shaw said that as players we have to decide whether we're good enough for Manchester United. Then Gary Neville said no.
It's not for you to say.
It's not for you to decide. It's for the manager to decide whether you're good enough.
Yeah. And it's like in a way very smart for Luke Shaw to say these sort of things. Because it will seem that he's speaking for the players, right?
Yeah.
But at the same time it's like, yeah, we're just hiding behind everything like like the team is bad.
There's no.
But then you're not being self-critical of yourself.
Correct.
You're just saying, we need to improve. We need to decide whether we are good enough to play for Manchester United. So are you trying to say that you, Luke Shaw, don't deserve to play for Manchester United? I think so. I think you don't deserve.
Yeah, you don't deserve.
You don't deserve to be out the whole season and play one game in the final.
I mean, let's just call it as it is lah. Like we'll get into this later, but if you finish 15 as Manchester United players, right, all of you don't deserve to be there. You lost 18 games this season, right? A bunch of international players, and you lost 18 games. You let your manager down.
Yep.
And the reports are, even Fabrizio Romano said this one thing. They were saying like, the Man United players are doubtful about Amorim's system because they think that he's too overconfident about it, and that it's a system that doesn't suit their style. I'm like, who allows you to dictate what style a manager should play? The manager's your boss, right?
That's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So to me, it's like, if you're asking whether the backlash is deserved about the group of players that finally said this, you're horrible, I think it is lah, because it's like less than a few of them give a F about this . So and because of poor performance, right, I think let's move on to the next part, right? They missed out on the Champions League, which, bro, I think you just let everybody know, right, how much money did they lose out.
Okay, so this is where the numbers really come in and hurt you. Okay, so the fact that Man U didn't win the Europa League, and which means that they automatically miss out on Champions League football, right?
Yep.
So there's a clause in their Adidas contract.
Yep.
That if Man United is supposed to play Champions League at least once every 2 years.
Yep.
So we didn't play last year because we were out, right?
Yes.
And then we out again this year.
Yep.
So automatically, Adidas will penalize United $10 million. So they will cut the annual sponsorship by 10 million.
Yep.
Each year, each year. So if next year we don't get right, another 10 million. So it's a compounding
deduction.
Deduction, yes, correct. In a way, it's also a good contingency for Adidas, in case I put this very simple. You just need to qualify Champions League, we give you the money, that kind. You know?
Correct.
So you don't make it, so they reduce 10 million. Players' entire roster will get 25% cut.
Yep. Wait, some of them are not happy about.
75% of their salary they will get. Mason Mount's contract, he has a hidden clause. He has a clause in his contract that if he goes to a European Cup final, United need to pay Chelsea 3.5 million. Okay? So United went to the final and they got $5 million for that.
Yep.
So just by going to the final and not winning it, right, they are net loss of 12.5 million. Minus 12 million, bro. Minus 11.5 million to be exact.
Yep.
Yeah, so more cash that they missed out on. And then, yeah.
And the fact that Chelsea is willing to pay the central penalty fee of 5 million. So essentially, right, they lose about 2.5 million, 1.5 million based on that, right? So basically, Chelsea get to not keep central and pay them for literally nothing. All these things is like poor performance repercussion of the field. The club cannot rely on like, oh, I'm Manchester United anymore already, because you are not the biggest club in the world anymore already.
Yep.
You're the biggest club in monetary revenue, yes, but you're not the biggest club in the world anymore. You have lost that title. We have lost that title to like Real Madrid or even Liverpool.
That's crazy, yeah.
Which is, to me, is a shame. So I think on top of that, right, 25% salary cut, and you have players that are not happy about it.
Bro, you should talk about who is the one making the biggest noise.
Freaking Andre Onana.
Yeah.
Like, what on earth, right, gives you the right to be upset about a 25% pay cut? When it's already in your contract. Which you should have read beforehand, right? And it's predominantly your fault.
For not reading it, right? Yeah. Or
not only that,
even agreeing it in the first place, right?
And not only that, his performances on the field warranted the fact that we are not in the Champions League. Yeah. Last year also, he was the reason why we were eliminated from the Champions League. This year, he's the reason why we literally didn't win a Europa League trophy.
Final, yeah. I agree, man. So, yeah, so he's apparently not happy about the pay cut. I think Amorim also, on the last day, he left them out, right? He left him and
Garnacho out. So,
yeah.
We'll move on to the next part, which is basically who deserves to stay, right? But I think, like, let's just call out one more thing, is that because of this, right, I think United are trying to do more cost-cutting measures already on top of this already to save up cost, right, which is basically like the poor performances on the field are essentially leading to people losing jobs.
Yeah.
Which to me, right, as a United player, right, you have no remorse. You've got no like form of like sympathy for the people that you just literally cost your job. Because the thing is that, let's say for example, right, like last year they did a cut, right? It was estimated to be 10 million a year annually saved. As a business, you can understand that if, let's say, performances of where you're supposed to do, if let's say for example, in any business, if sales don't do well, you're gonna have cost. You're gonna let some people go. If the main thing that you're supposed to do is not doing well, you have to let people go.
Yeah. And I agree, exactly. It's like, why are they like saying some jobs at United are redundant, right?
Yeah.
But some players are the clear ones that are the redundant ones.
Yeah. You know? And I think it's like they are redundant, right? But the thing is that the fact that the players are so bad that they have to cut because they need to save money already, right? Because they're losing money every single time we don't win trophies, or we don't win or we don't make Champions League, because all the bonuses are gone.
Exactly. So yeah, so I that's the thing I'm a bit upset about. Like, why they are apparently like letting go of like some canteen staff, right? Like a canteen staff, they was earning like what 12K a year.
Yeah.
But you're paying Luke Shaw like 200K a week. Yeah. A week.
Exactly.
You can like literally just like cut his pay by half or something like that, you know, or cut 25% and give it to the staff, you know.
That's the problem. I think that it's because they are contractually obligated in the contract to actually pay the player salary.
Yeah, so I feel that, right, certain things are like player contract, right, United should relook.
Yeah.
Like, if they don't meet certain things, they are obliged to like just let them go for free, that kind, you know.
Yeah. I think we have to see basically like key performance indicators like any player or any
normal
organization,
bro. Yeah.
I think like with that, right, with that and the things that we're talking about letting players go, right, let's just move on to the next portion, right, which is basically who deserves to stay. Honestly, right, like I can't even name like 5. Okay, maybe I can name.
Keep the new.
Okay, I can name. Okay, let's say for example, I can keep.
Doku.
Okay, I can keep Dogu because he just joined. Ahmad, Bruno, I will let go for the right fee.
Nah, I wouldn't even keep Bruno, bro.
Okay, Ahmad.
I wouldn't even keep him. Yeah.
Delete. Euro, Heaven,
Masraoui.
Mazraoui, Ugarte.
Ugarte also another one. A lot of people don't. They are saying like he should be let go. That kind
No.
of
Ugarte made the things a lot more bearable than it actually was. Like,
and then you have to blame Amorim for not starting him in the final.
Other than that, right, I think everybody else
man.
should go. Everybody else should go. Like, I think, and the main one, I think it was like,
Onana Garnacho, bro, first to go.
I think it's first two, right? But Garnacho, I think he deserves to go already. Like. I think if I'm not mistaken, I heard rumors, right, that basically Amorim told Garnacho in front of everybody inside. I think you're to leave the club by the
you have to find yourself
end of season.
Club.
Yeah. Because
bro, he went to ask his agent to like get Real Madrid to sign him. Like, who do you think you are? Who do you think you are to like?
Yeah.
To choose the club that you want when they don't even want you in the first place.
Yeah.
All these players are like ego of Ronaldo, but they're not Ronaldo, really.
They're not. Nobody at Man United is Ronaldo.
Yeah.
Like I would entertain offers for Garnacho, I would entertain offers for Manu, I would entertain offers for like Bruno. Like Bruno, I think Al Hilal they're offering about 100 million.
Take, man.
I would take.
Man, you will be fool not to take it.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Like I would take it for I would take the money for 100 million, right? I think Anthony he's going to Real Betis because Betis want him. So I think probably you can afford maybe about how much? 30, 40 million?
30 million, yep. I think
30 plus million. Rashford, I don't know where he's going to go. Ericsson and Lindelof, they're both leaving. I think Johnny Evans is leaving also. I think Casemiro's out by the end of the season also. So a lot of this squad, right, they are going to revamp or they're going to go with the younger kids really.
Yep.
Basically, like I feel it's easier to train the younger kids, right? Because you can literally drill the system into them.
Yeah. And it's like, the thing about kids is you can take them out anytime.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's a motivation factor for them to, it's my chance to prove my worth now.
Yep. So I think we both in agreement, like the whole squad should go. Yeah.
It's like I won't even keep like 5 of them, man. Yeah.
I mean, like the fact that I was even able to get to 7 was like a shock.
It's like even like Martinez, I would not even keep.
No, I won't. As much as I love Licha, right? Licha's too injury prone.
It's a liability, bro.
Yeah.
Luke Shaw all this first to go.
I will happily get rid of Diogo Dalot also. So like just
bro, that one he will go for sure.
I mean Højlund, right? Like I mean Cunha coming in, right? Like I just laughed this morning. I was like, Cunha coming in, right? Technically he upgraded by one position.
Yeah, he moved up one position.
Nobody deserves to stay at United. Everybody should go. Like it's just bad, right? But I think let's come to the conclusion of this episode. Let's just talk about the manager. You heard his speech yesterday, right?
Bro, I'm so tired of like hearing things about Man United. But I heard what he said.
My question is this, right? Your manager apologized on your behalf when everybody knows that it wasn't his fault. Majority of it.
Yeah, like even Ten Hag didn't even apologize last year.
He's not even absolved to blame. Like he tried to do a new system which everybody can see is going to work. And people that doubt the system, right, have never watched football before, because the reason why is this system had Sporting beat City earlier in the season. And it's the exact same system, right, that Pep Guardiola talked about Thomas Tuchel and Chelsea. It's the same formation, exact same formation. So how on earth, right, is it that you can say that the system doesn't work and that we should be adapting the system to players, right, when we've been playing 4-2-3-1 and 4-3-3 for the past like 7-8 years, right, and it doesn't work.
Yeah. It's the play. You have to get players in that can play the system.
Correct. So for people that say that, his system doesn't work and everything, I say, guys, the system never work regardless of what formation because the players are just crap. So like, I'm just gonna look at it this way, and I'm gonna ask you this, right, before I give my 2 cents, right? What is your expectation for Amorim next year?
Bro, minimally, he needs to purge at least 70% of the players.
Yep.
Because if this 70% remain, bro, he will
never go anywhere.
I tell you, by 10 games, he'll be second.
Yeah. Yep.
So my expectation of him is at least if he can bring in his own players or like, not even bring in, like just purge this current team of players first. And then we will see what he really has in mind. You can't get them to play a 3 at the back with this kind of players, with this kind of goalkeeper,
Yep.
Yeah, so... Yeah, I'm all for it. I'm all for him staying and trying to see what he can achieve from this.
Yep.
I mean, like the fact that he already offered to walk away for free, so it gives me reassurance, that he's not here for the money.
Yeah, he wants the.
He say, if the board want to sack him, he will quit for free. If only I heard every Ten Hag say that.
Every Ten Hag didn't. And like I look at it more like he wants to win. You can tell. And every single loss is just basically hurting him because the players just don't want to listen. And you can easily tell it's a player problem because he's really towards the end of the season, right? He knows that the season's finishing. He's calling out a lot of them really. He told Eriksen he can leave. He told Lindelof he can leave. He told Garnacho he can leave. And I saw a comment, right? It was like, if we let Garnacho leave, right? I'm not supporting the club. No, Sir Alex Ferguson would never do this. I say then if you say that, right, you don't know Sir Alex Ferguson.
Yeah. You probably haven't born it when you
probably, you know, Sir Alex would have kicked him out way before that already. I think even after the Europa League final, right, Garnacho will probably be he's done already. You're gone already. I'm glad that he's a disciplinarian and he enforces what he wants, right? He needs the right players. I think bringing Cunha in is a good thing. And he already praised Aiden Heaven, saying that we need players with character. Basically, he's calling out other players, saying that 18-year-old has more character than you. The fact that his best players this year, right, were predominantly defenders. Says a lot about the team. So, bro, I think let's conclude. Final thoughts about Man United before we just basically summarize our predictions and see of the EPL and see where we got it wrong.
Just gotta call it as it is, bro. Absolute piece of ass, man.
Yep. We are a club in shambles, right? And I think United People's TV said it it's not rebuilding, it's foundation. Yep. You're basically striking the club's foundations and rebuilding and restructuring the whole foundation of this club all over again. So basically we're not even starting from 10%, we're starting from 0.
But the only thing is United don't have the time You get what I mean?
We don't have the time.
Okay, at least the only good thing is we are playing one game a week next season.
So we've got no reason not to win more games.
Or perform.
Or to perform. So I mean, let's just look at it, right? So before we conclude, right, bro, let's just recap our EPL predictions. Because I think in most of the football Kaki fashion, right, we have been a disaster. So we have gotten almost every single prediction wrong for the past few weeks. And I think that has continued, right? So I'm going to read out our top 4 predictions, right? For me, I predicted it was Arsenal winning the league, Man City 2nd, Liverpool 3rd, and Spurs 4th.
Spurs 4th.
I got it wrong lah.
Technically they made it to the Champions League, so touch successfully lah.
They But I mean Arsenal falling off, City falling off, I think was not something that I expected. And Liverpool winning the title was something that I definitely didn't expect. Sure. I think for you, right, your top 4 was Arsenal, Man City, Aston Villa, Liverpool.
Aston Villa, I got the Aston Villa one wrong also.
Yeah. So the thing is, both of us got 3 out of 4 lah. Got 3 out of 4 that will qualify for the Champions League, right? But we got the order wrong. So that one, right?
Technically, I think all of yours qualify for Champions League.
Technically, all of mine qualify for the Champions League, but not the way they expected it lah.
Yeah.
I think bottom 3, it's for me was Everton, Southampton, and Nottingham Forest. So 18, 19, 20, right? Yours was Southampton, Nottingham Forest, and Ipswich. I got Southampton correct. You got Southampton and Ipswich correct. I think both of us got Nottingham Forest wrong.
They finished 6, right? 6 or 7. 7, yeah.
7.
No, nothing for them, right?
No, nothing for them. So Nottingham Forest was the shock of the season to me. But I tell you, right, if Nuno gets sacked, right, because of this, I'll be like, your owner doesn't know anything.
Bro, the owner doesn't know anything. If you know him, right, I don't think he knows anything about football, bro.
But if Nuno gets sacked,
what a prediction, bro.
In football Kaki fashion, we got it wrong, though. Most of it.
Bro, we
haven't gotten a prediction right.
Last year we got the Champions correct, right? I said Man City won the league.
Yeah. But I mean, in our track record of predictions for football Kaki, we got a lot of things wrong.
Yeah. So I tell you already, let's go back to the silent prediction, bro.
We'll see. So,
see that next year, yeah.
Thank you, everybody. That was it for this week's episode of the Football Kaki. Alright, so that is it for this week's episode of the Football Kaki, brought to you by the Chit Chatter Podcast Network. Now, for those of you who are tuning in, we just want to say thank you, and we hope that you continue to watch our other shows, which are the Kopi Bros every Monday. We come together and talk about fun and trivial topics and have some interviews lined up for you. And if you do like game shows, we do have our flagship game show every Friday, the SG Draft Podcast, where we come together and draft about different topics and have fun while we do it. We have drafted from HDB flat to biggest size of relief. The number 1 biggest size of release was Brendan's one. Yeah. Brendan's famous 2 lines. So do head over every Friday to go and vote for your favorite teams on the SG Draft Podcast. You actually have the power to control and decide who wins and who loses. So with that, bro, you got anything else to add before we head off?
Bro, I'm glad the season is over, man.
Yeah.
Actually, I take a breather now.
Correct. And don't forget, everybody, Champions League final.
I think this one harmless, right? If we were just to say who do you think will win?
I think we can say it in this outro. Like who's gonna win? Like we don't put this scoreline.
Inter Milan, bro. I say Inter Milan. You can say PSG.
No, I think Inter also.
I think Inter, bro.
I think Inter just a better team. So yeah, with that, have a great week ahead. Have fun watching the Champions League final. So we'll see you soon. Bye bye.